if it's too peaceful, they'll create a chaos intentionally just to test you. And then one day she just told me that I don't need you to. I don't need your reply. Just listen to me. Just be quiet. Just listen to me. And she looked at me, and she just busted into tears. And I asked her, and I said, "Why are you crying, babe? What's wrong?" And she said to me. So one of the most important things you should learn about your spouse is their culture. And this is very, very important because there are things that are actually necessary, but it's part of the culture. But if you don't know the culture, then you never know what you're supposed to do. And this is one of the things that I didn't know, and I wish that I do know before I got married. It's almost very minute, but it's very, very important. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know this until my wife told me, just somewhere like last year or so. And we've been married since 2021. And she actually thought I knew, and I just didn't do it. But in actual reality, I had no idea. I literally did not know. And what was that? Gift. In every sense of it. But specifically, because you see, my wife is from Katsina, right? So she's Hausa by tribe. And so in their culture, they have this tradition of when you get married, your first night, your husband is supposed to bring you some type of meat, maybe like chicken or suya. So that's like roasted beef, or roasted chicken, something like that. But in Nigeria, we call it suya. With yogurt. And this is actually part of like the tradition. I had no idea. I'm super innocent of it. I've never heard of it. I never knew about it. No one has ever told me about it. Nothing. Zero. Like literally zero idea. Nothing. And she didn't tell me. Like, I didn't know. I didn't get to do it, which is like part of the tradition. And she didn't even tell me about it until last year. I don't even remember how we had the conversation, how we started it. And she was like, "Where's my chicken and yogurt?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? You had chicken so many times in the house, like, with yogurt?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "So what are you talking about? I'm missing out. There's something missing. What am I missing here?" And she was like, "Our first night together, you were supposed to bring me chicken and yogurt. Why didn't you?" I was so confused. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, don't pretend like you don't understand what I'm saying." I'm like, I'm not pretending. Like, I honestly don't understand what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean by our first night I'm supposed to bring you chicken and yogurt? She's like, "You want to tell me that you do not know?" I'm like, I obviously do not. What are you talking? Like, please explain to me. What do you mean by that? And she's like, "It's tradition. You're supposed to bring me chicken and yogurt on our first night. The first day we became husband and wife. That night, the first night we spent together. So that would be second night, because our first night we were in the family house and all of that until the second day before we moved into our own house. So that was our first night together." And then she was like, "That's what you're supposed to do." And oh my God, I was so like, oh, what? I didn't know. I am so sorry. I did not know. I had no idea. I felt so terrible. I felt so bad. Like, I'm like, how can I make it up? She's like, you can't. It's gone. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am going to apologize till the day I leave this world, because it's like I've taken away something from her that is supposed to be a day she's supposed to remember. A night, actually, she's supposed to remember forever. And I didn't give it to her because I didn't know the culture as well as I'm supposed to know the culture. So that's tip number one. That's one of the things that you're supposed to know before you get married. Learn the culture as much as you can. Like, it's so important. You should learn the culture as much as you can. It's really, really important. It was on a random day. We're just sitting, chatting. Just normal day. Out of nowhere. And my wife looked at me and she was like, why don't you care about me? Why don't you care about me? And I looked at her in shock. I was shocked. Like, what do you mean? Like, that was random? From nowhere. I don't understand. What do you mean by I don't care about you? Of course I care about you. She's like, no, you don't love me. Like, what? I don't love you? Where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? What do you mean by I don't love you? And she said, you don't offer to help me. And I was like, but you never asked me to help you. So you see, as a man, right? I grew up in a household where we're mostly boys, and we have sisters, obviously, but we're all separated. We have our own side, and then they are mainly in the house. The boys are mostly out of the house, maybe in the boys' quarters. Our own room is outside the house, right? So we hardly have that scenario where you get asked in the kitchen to, like, okay, help in the kitchen and all of that. That whole kitchen scenario, we hardly have such experience. Hardly. At least in my own experience, in my own house, we hardly do that. So sometimes I do offer to help my sisters. Sometimes. But it never occurred to me to apply that in this scenario. I was waiting for her to ask, please help me with this. Because logically for me, I'm like, if you need the help, you ask me, okay, help me with this, help me with that. Because sometimes me, I need help, and I was like, hey, please help me with this. So for me, that's how I think. But for her, when I asked her, I said, but you didn't ask me to help you. Why are you now trying to say that I'm not offering help? You didn't ask me to help you. How am I supposed to know what to help you with? And that's when she told me, she said that if you had cared for me, you would offer to help me. You wouldn't wait for me to ask you to help me. You would ask me, do I need help? You would ask me, is there anything I can help you with? And oh my God, was I dumbfounded. Like, subhanallah, that makes sense. From this perspective, it does make sense. So I apologized. And from then on, I always try to ask her, do you need help with something? Is there anything I can help you with? Or if I see, or sometimes I even look around and see, what is it that she's doing right now that I think maybe there's something I can help her with? And then I try to help her with that. That is something you should put at the back of your mind. Offer help. That is number two. Something I wish someone told me. It might look like common sense, but common sense is not common all the time. I have to admit, I didn't have that common sense with me at the time. But with the help of my wife, now I do. Offer help. Don't wait for her to ask. On this beautiful day, I was sitting in the sitting room and just using my computer. And my wife comes out. She just took her bath, dressed up. She came out looking sleek, looking really beautiful. See? I'm just saying that. When she came out, I was on my computer. I was taken away by what I was doing at the time. And I just took a glance at her. And I looked back. And I continued doing what I was doing. And nothing was said. I didn't say anything to her. She didn't say anything to me. She just went on, and doing her own thing. Minding her business. And a day or two later, we're sitting, and just randomly, she just said to me, "Why did you marry me? Why me?" And I looked at her, looking really confused. I was like, I don't understand. And she said again, "Why did you marry me? Why me? Were you pressured into marrying? And were you pressured into marriage and then you decided to just marry me?" And I said, "What are you talking about? Where is this coming from?" And she said, "You don't care about me. You don't care. You don't see me. It's like I don't even exist. I disappear." And I was like, I don't understand. I was so confused. I was really, truly confused. And she said to me, "You don't compliment me. You don't compliment me. You don't see me." And I was, "Wait, I don't understand. Do you even love me?" she said. And I was like, Of course I love you." "No, you don't. You don't love me. You don't care about me. If you love me, you care about me, you will see me. And because you see me, you will compliment me." You, hold on. You have to understand something, right? This is the first time I'm getting married. I've never been married before. I have zero experience. And so when this was happening, I was really, really, truly confused. I couldn't understand. This is because of that day, just 2 days ago. Or maybe it's not from just that day. Maybe it's just that day that probably I observed, maybe. But it's from the day we got married, probably. And I don't know if I had ever said, like, "You look amazing, you look beautiful." As simple as those words are, it means a lot to women. For men, we're not used to that. So it's fine, it's okay. We don't hear it more often, so we kind of, it doesn't bother us when no one tells us, like, "Oh, hey, you look good." Because, for example, in my own household, from my parents' house, we are mostly boys. I have few sisters, but they are in the house, we are outside the house. So boys and girls are separate, kind of. So even with our own sisters, we hardly even tell them, like, "Yo, you look good." To be honest, it's literally kind of weird. We don't, I guess they're just our sisters. We don't say, "Oh, you look good," or "You look beautiful," like something like that. Occasionally we do tell them that, but we're not used to that as boys. So for us, we just dress up, wear what we want to wear, put our perfume on, we go out. We go to whatever we're going to do. We go out, we just do it. And I don't think anyone would had ever told me, like, "Yo, you look good." Probably someone has, but I don't remember. But I'm just trying to make you understand how our mentality works, how, like, what's with us, right? So she, in that scenario, it makes no sense to her because all her life she's been told she's beautiful, she's amazing, she looks good, you know what I mean? And now I'm married to her and I don't even see that to her. It really makes sense for her to think that I don't care, I don't love her, because I don't see her. But it's not true. I'm just not used to that. So I'm not even conscious of it. It happens subconsciously. I'm not even conscious of it, to be honest. But then when she said that, it dawned on me. Like, yo, you need to watch out. Some things that you don't care about, it means a lot to her. It might mean nothing to you, but it's a lot for her. It's a lot to her. So you need to really be careful and be observant. So from then on, I became very conscious of complimenting her, no matter how small it is. Hey, you look good. Hey, the henna you did it's amazing. It looks good. Hey, that piercing you had, oh my God, I love it. You should really, really be observant. Speaking from experience, it is not funny, man. It is not funny. Oh my goodness. Compliment. It's very, very vital. Take note of that. So my sister was sick and we went to visit her in the hospital. It was a struggle because I myself wasn't feeling well. I was really sick myself and my wife was heavily pregnant at the time with our first kid. So we arrived at the hospital. We saw my sister. She just had an operation. So she was on the sick bed. We saw her, greeted her, saw her husband, also greeted him. And we went outside to sit. Well, she wanted to feed, I think, or I can't really remember at the time. Is it feeding or I don't think it's feeding because we had to go out. It's like kind of mandatory. I think the doctors wanted to do rounds or something like that they told her we should excuse them. So we had to go outside to sit outside. And all of a sudden, my wife's phone rang. She picked it up and she walked off. And by the time she returned, she was in tears. I was like, what's going on? And she was like, nothing. And I'm like, well, you're in tears. She's like, don't worry, I'm fine. And that was it. I'm like, okay. So in my own mind, I was like, okay, maybe the call she just had, right? They just give her some news, but it's not really that crazy. And on the other hand, I was thinking maybe she's just in tears because she was being sympathetic towards my sister because of what she just went through at the time. So it was kind of a big deal what she was going through. So I was thinking maybe she's just emotional because of that. I didn't ask further. And after that day, I didn't really ask. Like, yo, what's going on with you? Because you see, for me, when you ask me, hey, what's up? How are you? I tell you straight up, I'm fine. And if I'm not fine, I tell you like, man, I'm down. I'm not really okay. And something is bothering me. Especially if me and you were close. For example, husband and wife. If she was to ask me at that very moment, hey, how are you? What's going on? What's happening? I would directly tell her, oh man, I just received the news, or I'm just being emotional because of your sister, something like that. But with her, it's not the same. So I didn't ask after that time because I believe she just told me that she's fine, so she's fine. Yo. Don't follow me. Don't do what I did. That is a huge mistake. Now I know it's a huge mistake because after that time, oh my goodness, I think a week or so, like, oh my, I can't even remember how many times she has told me that I don't care about her. Like, I don't love her. Like it seems like I just trapped her into this marriage. I just tricked her into this marriage, or kind of. It's like I just set a trap for her. She entered, and then I just grabbed her and kept her there. Because all these things she says to me, it's not true. So she just comes to me and was like, you, why don't you care about me? And I'm looking again, I'm like, what did I do this time? And she was like, did you not know? She was like, do you know what happened to me? I'm like, when? She's like, that's the problem. You don't even know. And you didn't care to ask. I'm like, what are you talking about? In the hospital, didn't you see me crying? I was like, yeah, I saw you crying, and I saw you in tears, and I asked you, like, what's going on? But you said you're fine. Like, I asked you, and you said you're fine. And didn't I ask you? But you said you're fine. And she was like, because I told you I'm fine, and then you just let me be that I'm fine. I'm like, subhanallah. Like, you told me that you're fine. So if you tell me that you're fine, am I not supposed to believe that you're fine? She's like, no. If I tell you that I'm fine, it means that I'm not fine. I'm like, in what world does you saying that you're fine means that you're not fine? I'm kind of confused. Like, I'm genuinely confused. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I'm genuinely confused. And she's like, oh my God. You don't get it, do you? Like, it's that not obvious? Like, I don't. She's like, no. You are supposed to insist to know what's wrong with me. You're supposed to insist to know what's going on. When I tell you that I'm fine, I am not fine. I'm like, oh my goodness. I definitely do not know anything about this gender. I am so lost. I'm like, okay, I'm really sorry. The only thing I know that I do well is really apologize. When I find out that I'm doing something wrong, I just say I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I really do not know. I didn't know. I'm innocent of the whole thought of you thinking that I'm just ignoring you, or I don't care about you, I don't love you. It's not true. I really do not know. I am innocent of it. So fellas, when your lady tell you that she's fine, do not just let her be. Insist on knowing what's going on with her. So I learned. This is one of the things that I wish I knew before I got married. Because I'm telling you, as simple as that is, it can become a chaotic situation. Where if you are not somebody who is kind of down to earth, also to kind of be humble, to understand or to know, you can easily escalate that into something else. And before you know it, your marriage is off the window. So yeah, make sure you ask and insist of knowing what is wrong with them. The agenda, it is not what you think it is. It is indeed a very, very complex gender. Attitude. Oh my God, I am allergic to attitude. I do not like attitudes at all. It drives me crazy. Like, just tell me what is going on. Just tell me what's happening. I do not like attitudes. And let me tell you guys, when you get married, you are going to get attitudes a lot. This might be something that you think that is just small, but I'm telling you, it's going to drive you crazy. If you don't know this now. Hormones. If you never heard of it, listen carefully. Listen, take it in. take it in, absorb it, cram it. I don't care what you're going to do. Make sure your brain holds it. Make sure your brain holds it. I feel like I need to come closer. I need to bring you closer so you really understand this. Hormones are real. I don't know the definition of hormones. I don't even know how to define it for you. But let me tell you something. When women are pregnant, specifically in this situation, when they are pregnant, oh my God. First of all, when you hear the word patience, it does not do it. You need insane amount of patience and understanding. And sometimes you have to just ignore what you hear or how you're being treated. Because at that moment when the hormones kick in, oh my God, even trash is better than you at times. Depending on your situation. Very, very normal day. Very, very normal day. You guys can be having a blast. You guys can be having fun. Hormone will kick in. And from nowhere, you are going to receive some attitude, like some blocks of flat just literally landed on you. Boom, like that. And I am not even joking. Women will testify that this is real. They will give you attitude. They will tell you stuff. They will treat you like shit. But believe me, they don't mean it. I know it's confusing. I mean, you're going to be very, very confused at this point. But they don't mean it most of the time. It's just what they are going through. It is not easy to carry a baby inside of you. When you have ever overfed yourself, you know how that feels like. That is not even food in your tummy. That is food plus a human being like yourself inside them, growing daily, hourly, minutes, seconds, and it goes on for months. It is insane. When you really think of it, it is not funny. So please bear with them at that moment. Hormones. Remember, hormones. They are not your enemy. You just need to understand that they exist and they are not to be messed with. Especially at that moment in time when they kick in, do not become one negative person that is going to even add to the problem. You should be the one to just excuse and make them feel okay. Absorb it. Take it for the team. Yes, you heard that right. Take it for the team. And they are going to appreciate you even more. They're going to love you even more. Because they know you understand the assignment. Oh, you understand the assignment. Hormones, man. Hormones. Know this before you get married so that you get it easier than I did. Because, man, your boy Colette. Or more. Oh, yeah. This one, it feels like it's generic, but it's very important. And I feel like there are people who actually probably do not understand or know this. So, you see, you've heard this probably before, or you heard many times, that, oh, men are superior to women. In some cases, that's true. But you see, when you're married, right? Communication. There is no superiority in communication. There's no like, oh, you should listen to me and I'm not going to listen to you. You're supposed to just hear what I have to say. And I don't have to listen to what you have to say because I'm the man. I am the man. Bro, you are the man. You're going to remain only you in that marriage as the man. If you love your woman, you love your wife, my brother, listen. When I say listen, I mean, listen to everything. Sometimes they will want to just gist. That gist you're not interested. Listen. And let me just tell you, don't just hear. Listen. Listen. Remember what they say. Because after that day, one day the conversation will come up. And if you don't remember that conversation you had that day, because you were not listening, you were just hearing. Oh, my brother. As funny as it is not going to be funny. I'm serious. So please, listen. Communicate. Listen. On a more serious note, when you guys have a dispute, communicate. One thing I learned, alhamdulillah, I did learn that, is not to bring third party into your marriage. Do your best, as much as you can, to communicate with your spouse, no matter how crazy the situation is. Me and my wife had disagreements. We might not even talk for hours, but we'll do our best not to allow it slip to the next day. We do our best to resolve it on that day. And if it does slip to the next day, we'll have to make sure we talk about it. And oh my goodness, I love my wife. I respect her so much, because there is this time that I was so pissed at her that I didn't even want to say anything to her. She had to be the big person to call me and say, hey, I need to talk to you. I was like, okay. And I came. So I sit down, please. Sat down. And she looked at me. I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're pissed at me. I'm sorry that you're angry at me. And then we talked it out. At the end of the day, I was angry, but I was even the one at fault. Like, dude, I came down my high horse and I said, babe, I'm really sorry. I see now that I was at fault. It wasn't you. And thank you for being the bigger person to bring me to this table so we can resolve this. I really appreciate you a lot, and that means a lot to me. Communication, guys. Communication is key. Communication, if you ask me, is 50% of the problem in marriage. If you can communicate well with your spouse, no one, and I literally mean no one, can come between you two. And that is a goal you should really look up to. And I pray that, inshallah, you and your spouse would have a really beautiful communication, whereby even when you just look at yourself, you understand. Like, really. That is a golden thing right there. So communication is very, very key and important. So take note of that. You know, when you're getting married, most of the time you hear people tell you, hakuri zake. In Hausa, it means patience is what you're going to be doing. If I translate that right. Hakuri zake. You're going to be patient. Or will it be? You should be patient. No. Hakuri zake. If I'm going to translate that literally, that will not make sense. Hakuri, patience, zaki, you will do. No rhyme, no rhyme. The Hausa is not Hausa. No, the Hausa is Hausa. It's the English, there is no English in. Okay. Main point is patience. They tell you be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient. Be patient with your wife, be patient with your wife, be patient with your wife. Let me tell you, you will not understand that the patience they're talking about is not normal patience. You know that kind of patience that, you went to the ATM and you joined the line and you're waiting for your turn. That kind of patience. That is not the kind of patience. Or you went to buy akara on the street and there's so much line. You're like, Madam, how far? And then you're waiting for akara. No be that kind of patience. This patience is not, it's not normal. This patience is not normal. Oh my goodness. Women will test your patience. When I say they will test your patience, they will test your patience to the core. And if you're not somebody of faith, oh, suicide on the way. You might commit suicide, bro. Because you are going to get pissed to the point that you're going to feel like you're going to explode. Patience. Patience. The patience they're telling you is going to be ironclad patience. You have to be this incredibly, insanely patient person. But let me tell you, it's insanely rewarding. Because in their nature, they are meant to test you in different ways and capacities. But the moment you're able to withhold, you're able to hold yourself and not be like all these children in adult clothing or in adult suits these days, where they just get pissed at every little thing. You are going to really hold your woman tight. You are going to keep your woman. You're going to keep your wife. And that's something I've experienced and I'm still experiencing. Because you never finish experiencing that, to be honest. And this is coming from, of course, elderly people who have vast experience in marriage. And now I'm experiencing it myself. Sometimes you're just there and they will just do something. It's too peaceful in the house, they will say. Obviously, they will not say that. But if it's too peaceful, they will create a chaos intentionally just to test you. So, my friend, the patience we're talking about here is not normal. You need ironclad patience. This you should know before you get married. So when you get married, when it's coming, you'll be like, oh, yes, bring it on. I'm ready. My brother, you can never be ready. Because they are so good. But at least you have the information now. So when it's happening, you'll be like, oh, Khalil said it. So patience, it's key in marriage. Know that at no peace. So you're going to be one of those days, in this situation whereby you're just sitting there and you guys will be gisting or maybe watching the movie, and then she starts to talk to you. She starts telling you things. She starts telling you about somebody or something or some situation or whatever. You should know this. It's not everything that she actually needs a reply to. Sometimes she just wants you to listen to her. And that's enough. Like, as complicated as they are really, really simple also. And that's the beauty of them. They are so simple sometimes that it's just beautiful. And to us, it's crazy because we're mostly talking, doing business. We're mostly going out, dealing with people. We're mostly doing the talking most of the time. So it's really hard to just sit down there and listen without reply. But let me tell you, that's a gift. They sometimes just want to tell you something. They don't need you to reply. They just want you to hear them. Just listen to them. And maybe just nod. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay. Oh, really? Wow. That happened? Oh, my goodness. That's terrible. Okay. Oh, they don't need you to reply. Oh, so you're saying you don't need that. Just be quiet. Just listen to her. And you don't even have to say anything. You might just be looking straight at her so that she knows that you're listening to her. And that's it. It gives them peace. It gives them the sense of love and affection and care. And so that's something you should know. And that's something I wished I knew. Because I'm always there trying to reply her and trying to reply her. And then one day she just told me that I don't need you to. I don't need your reply. Just listen to me. Just be quiet. Just listen to me. And so I'm also grateful in a way that I have a wife who actually at least tell me. So she's kind of teaching me. My wife is also like my teacher. So she's helping me understand her gender even more. Because you see, I am 100% sure some of them will not even communicate. They'll just shut down, just off. And, So yeah. So I'm really grateful for that too, because she has made it a little bit much more easier for me to be able to, you know, learn and understand. And yeah, alhamdulillah for that. So you found a woman, you found a spouse, you're happy. Oh my goodness, she's beautiful, she's amazing, she's all of that goodness. And you can't wait to get married to her. Of course, it's natural. But one thing you should know is this: you're getting married to her and her family. Yes. So you're getting married to this woman, but technically you're getting married to her alone. But in reality, you're getting married to her and her mother and her father and her brothers and her sisters and her aunties and her uncles. So you're getting married to the entire family. Maybe you might be confused about that. That makes no sense. Okay, let me explain. Hopefully I'm going to do justice to that. You're marrying this woman. Remember, you just got into her life. If you're like me, you are probably into her life for like a year or so. Then you get married. This woman had people in her life before you came in. You are just 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old in her relationship. If she is like 19 years old, she has like 18 years of experience with people. Let's even say, for example, what she can remember. Let's say maybe like she has 15 years with these people. How many years do you have with her? So you think you're going to just marry her and then take her off and then boom, that's it? No. There are people who are going to be in your business, whether you like it or not. There are people who you're going to be accounted to or for, whether you like it or not. There are people who you have to tag along with, or they are going to tag along with you, whether you like it or not. It's just the reality of life. When you know this, you know peace, because you'll be able to carry people along and you'll be able to be humble enough to be part of people. You'll be able to accept her and her people. You'll be able to accept her people and her. Do you get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. It's just the truth. And that is something I wish I knew. But alhamdulillah, I'm humble to learn. I know that I'm a student of life. I know I don't know everything. And I know that every step of the way there's something brand new to learn. And I'm open to it. Alhamdulillah, that is all I have to say. And I pray that you know that now, and it's going to help you to navigate through. And you're going to have an easier life than I did. That's the goal of making this video. To make sure I give you some of the things I wish I knew before I get married. So you will know them before you get married. So it's easier for you. Okay. I believe you get it. On the 1st of January 2021 was my most beautiful day. A day I've waited all my life for. The day I finally got married to my amazing wife. That day was beautiful, it was sunny, and it was a memorable day. After that day, we traveled back from Katsina, back to Abuja. And just 2 weeks later, we're supposed to attend my cousin's wedding. And I fell terribly ill. And we could not attend our wedding, unfortunately. It was not easy because my wife had just left her parents' house to my house as her husband kind of her new parent. And she found herself in a situation where she's asking herself, what is going on here? I was so ill to the point that I couldn't leave my room. It was really intense. We never had a honeymoon. We never did. And I prayed to Allah that because we never had a honeymoon, because I was so sick, I pray that every day of our life till the day we leave this world is going to be our honeymoon, inshallah. This is really an emotional moment for me. That's because I've been tested many times in my life, but never to this capacity. So this is something I found out after I got married, that no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter your status in life, no matter where you are going to be tested after you get married. And they come in all types of packages, shapes, sizes. You are going to get tested. This is not something that you see coming. Please listen to me carefully. In the Quran, we are told by Allah that He's going to test us with our health, children, wealth, and all of that. You are going to be tested in ways you have never ever been tested before. Either with your spouse, either with your health, either with your wealth, and maybe your children. I didn't know this. And I'm sorry to tell you, this one, even if you know that it's coming, you will not know when it's coming or how it will come. Just know that it's going to come. And so when it comes, pray to Allah before then. Allah gives you the patience, the wisdom, and the perseverance to be able to pull through. Because you will need every support, you will need Allah in every part of that process. Without Allah, you cannot make it. I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. Without Allah, you cannot make it. And when I mean without Allah, I mean you need to be praying, you need to have faith, you need to be patient, you need to persevere, you need to do everything you think of. You will need that faith. You will need Allah in every process of your life. It got to a point where I remember this very beautiful day. I was lying on the bed, shivering in a huge blanket. So I'm going to get super cold and I'm going to get super heated, but highly in between. So my wife cannot really stay where I am, because where I am is really hot, but I'm extremely cold. And she cannot stay there. And where she is extremely cold for me. But for her, it's normal. I cannot stay there. So we're living separately in the same house. It wasn't good. So I remember this day, she just came to pass by the room. She wanted to use the restroom in the room. And she went to the restroom, she came out, and she looked at me. And she just busted into tears. And I asked her, and I said, "Why are you crying, babe? What's wrong?" And she said to me, "Don't you see you? Do you see how you look? You look really, really sick." And I remember being unhappy about that remark. Genuinely, I wasn't unhappy with her. I was just unhappy that I was kind of scared for the both of us. Because in my mind, I'm like, hey, at least I'm not dead. And I'm still alive and I can still talk to you. I can still hold your hands. I mean, I can see you. I can smell you. I can hear you. And I can talk to you. And I can still walk. I can still use my hands. I can still do a lot of things. The reason why I was really scared was because I was scared that Allah is going to see us as ungrateful. And I said to her, please don't say that again. Please don't say that again. Because I don't want Allah to think that we're ungrateful. I am grateful. I'm alive. I can still do a lot of things. So instead, thank Allah for me. Thank Him that I'm still alive and ask Him to give me shifa. Ask Him to get me better, inshallah. So yeah, you are going to need a lot of faith. You are going to need a lot of prayers. And don't give up on yourself. Because Allah never gives up on us. Never. We are the one that always goes farther away from Him. But He's always close to us. Always. So one thing I just need you to understand is, please understand that your test is coming after you get married. It might not come the same way it came from me. It will come in different way. It will come in different package. But it's going to be a test. And it's just what it is. It's a test. Because we are all here in this life for tests. Until the day we die, we'll always be tested. And it will come in different shapes and sizes. In different forms. You'll be tested with wealth. You'll be tested with poverty. You'll be tested with health. You'll be tested with your children, your spouse, your family. You'll be tested in a lot of ways. Just be patient. Be patient and be prayerful and be hopeful. Remain hopeful always. And have faith in Allah. And wallahi tallahi, when you pass that level, when you pass that stage with the patience and all of that, it's going to really transform you internally and externally. You're going to glow. You're going to become this light. Everyone will feel you. Everyone. And in my belief, in my understanding, even in the heavens, you will be praised, inshallah. So, that's the 10 things I wish I knew before I got married. And I pray this brings you value, makes you understand the things that you need to know before you get married. There are so many of them, but these are the ones personally for me that I wish I knew before I got married. And I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys who are already married. What were the things that you wished you knew before you get married? Yeah, in the comment section below, inshallah. And I wish you guys amazing, successful married life. And for those who are searching, I pray Allah gives you the best from His creation. And Assalamu alaikum. See you in the next video.